Okay, and then we've got our knotted ribbon on the front of our notebook. The next thing we need, obviously, is the image. So I'm going to use the cherries from the Tart and Tangy stamp set, and I don't have a red marker, so I'm going to use the Real Red ink pad, and I'm going to squeeze it in the middle to get some colour. You can see there's a pool of colour there, and I'm going to use my blender pen, and I'm just going to pick the colour up with my blender pen, and I'm going to put that straight onto the stamp, just as if I was using a normal marker. So I got my red cherries. Now don't forget, if you want to clean your blender pen, you just need a piece of scrap paper, and you just scribble on it until the colour stops coming out, and just roll it around, and then you'll know that your pen is clean because no more colour comes off. So I've done my Real Red cherries, and I do have an Old Olive marker, so I'm going to just colour in the leaf and the stalks with the Old Olive marker. And once I've got the colour on my stamp, I'm going to huff on my stamp to re-moisten it, and then I'm going to just stamp my image onto my cardstock. And I've got my lovely cherries. I'm going to use my 1 3/8 circle punch because it fits the image just nicely. I'm going to hold my punch upside down so I can see the image, make sure I'm not cutting any of it off, and I'm just going to punch it out. So I've got my cherries. And then I also need my piece of Real Red cardstock, which seems to have... So I'm going to use my circle punch, and I always use them upside down because then you know that you're not going to chop part of the image off like that. So I'm going to line it up in the corner. I'm just going to push it out. So I've got my scallop circle and my cherries. I'm just going to adhere the cherries onto the front of my scallop circle. And then I'm going to have my notebook, and I'm just going to line up. I think I want to just put this off to the side this time. And just stick my image on the front. Of course, if you were making a notebook for somebody in particular, you could put their initials in the scallop circle. And there's our notebook finished. The next thing we're going to need is a pen. You can get these in any supermarket or post office, and they're the ones with the lid and the end which unscrews. You need to have the one where the end unscrews because otherwise you can't get the paper inside, and it's really tricky taking the coloured piece out of the end. Your paper needs to be the same size as your pen, more or less, and it will go down to where the pen narrows. And what we're going to do is we've unscrewed the end, and we're just going to curl our piece of design through paper. I found the easiest way to do this is to take the centre of your pen out and just use that to curl your paper up. And once you've done it one way, if you curve the outside piece in as well, then it will fit nice and snugly into your pen. I'm going to pop the middle of the pen back in just for a second, and I'm going to roll my paper up and pop it around my pen just to guide it in. Just need to roll that a little bit tighter. And it should just slip into your pen. Might need to give it a bit of a twist. And then when it gets to this point and it's stuck out at the end, if you take the middle of your pen out can just use that to push the paper inside your pen, and then just screw the cap on and put the lid on, and there you have a really pretty matching notebook and pen set, which would be great for a gift for anyone, or just to put in your handbag for when you go shopping. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks for joining me.